Well, it was all good just a week ago. That was last Saturday. And let's welcome in the man who was dropping all that knowledge. That's our Hall of Fame quarterback, Kurt Warner. How do we know he's a Hall of Famer? Because he has a bronze bust at his house to prove it. Now, Kurt, what was your reaction when you heard that Andrew Luck was hanging up the spikes after 7 years?
Well, I mean, I think like all of us, Cole, I was surprised. I think strictly as a football fan, as a fan of quarterbacks, the position, I was disappointed because he's one of our young stars. And the way he plays the game, the way he carries himself, he's good for our league. He's good for my position. So just from that standpoint, I'm disappointed. But the other side of it is I fully understand, that I went through different times throughout my career, whether it was the time I was sitting and waiting to get an opportunity, or it was times I was going through injuries, or even times when I was benched, where you start to wrestle with all the different things that go into it. And Cole, I knew a lot of guys that played this game, and some played it because they could, because they were talented and they could play at the highest level. There were others that were motivated by the fame and the money and the things that came with it. And then there were those guys that were just motivated because they loved to play the game. They loved to get between the lines. They loved to compete on Sunday afternoons. And, all the other stuff comes with it, but you can't replace that with anything. And to me, that's what it sounded like with Andrew Luck, was that he loves that part of the game, but it just was taken away from him with all the injuries and all the rehab, and he never got a chance to really play the game the last few years the way that he wanted to, and pain-free, and fall back in love with it. And I've always believed that's what it comes down to when it comes down to retirement, is that you don't forget what happens on Sunday afternoons. You don't stop loving that, but it's all the stuff that goes into it. Does that start to take away, or does that start to, outweigh how much you love the game? And to me, that's what it seemed like with Andrew Luck, and I believe this is the best decision for him moving forward.
Kurt, when football is no longer a game and it becomes a burden, how hard is that for a player, especially a player like Andrew Luck, who's played at a top level?
It's extremely hard when you don't just look to get out there because you want to throw the football and you want to be with your guys, but you start hearing the expectations, and you start feeling the weight of, hey, you need to be out there, you need to rush back. Why are you not playing the last month and a half with just this calf injury, but you're going through all these drills, but you can't get out on the field? That stuff just starts to weigh on you and weigh on you and weigh on you, because as much as we like to say we don't hear it, we don't listen to the media, we don't listen to the comments, you can't get away from it with where our game is now and the way that it's covered now. So that stuff just weighs heavier and heavier and heavier. And I just believe, Andrew was like, I haven't been able to go out there and play the way I want to. I keep hearing this stuff. I understand it. I've got to do what's best for me.